Hello everyone, I am Dr. Praneet. I'll be teaching chemistry today. Today this will be we'll be talking about the second chapter of the chemistry, that is structure of atom. I'll be teaching you today the chemistry, particularly the inorganic chemistry. I'm excited to connect with you through Knowledge Temple, a platform dedicated to providing quality education and mentorship for students across India. Here you will get structured learning, live lectures, mock tests and performance-based reports. Today let's start with the second chapter of the chemistry, that is structure of atom. Talking about this topic, particularly this topic will be purely factual. It will be consisting factual informations. It will be having theories, or you can say some informative and you can say some subjective norms. Okay, so let's start with this chapter. Firstly, let's learn what is the introduction of atom. In the previous chapter we learned what is atom, what is made up of atom, then its classification, its physical properties, its chemical properties, and etc. So now we also have learned about the Dalton's atomic theory, that it says that atom is the smallest unit, right? So as we know, atom is basically the smallest unit. Okay, it is the smallest particle and it is the smallest indivisible. Indivisible means it cannot be further divided into small subparticles. This was the statement given by Dalton. Okay, he said that it is the smallest indivisible, smallest particle of the atom. Okay, but this was proved wrong, as when we can say that there was an experiment where there was generation of an electric energy charge while there was a rubbing of glass by silk. For example, when we do an experiment, when we wear a sweater, a woolen sweater, and when we rub our hands and each other, when we keep near our heads, then we can say there is static electric energy form. So now here comes the question, how this generation of energy takes place. According to Dalton's atomic theory, he said that the law of conservation of mass, law of conservation of composition, laws of multi-proportion. So how this occurred? So Dalton's assumptions that atoms are indivisible are wrong. Here it is proof that it is incorrect. So now we can say that atom is basically consists of three parts. It says a negative, a positive, and a no charge, or you can say neutral. Hence a nomenclature naming was done for each of it. The negative one is known as electron, positive one is known as proton, and no charge is known as neutron. Okay, so these are the naming done for it. Now let's learn the discovery of the subatomic particles. So like we know that when two negative charges are clubbed together, it repels each other. So if we take a negative charge A and negative charge B, it will not attract, it will repel each other. That's also when we take a positive charge A and positive charge B, it will also repel. But if we take a negative charge and a positive charge, it will attract. Okay, this is the basic thing that should be learned. Now there was an experiment set up by cathode ray discharge tube. There was a discharge tube taken which consisted of parts of it like a cathode, like an anode, and a cathode rays. Okay, so here a battery is connected to the supply and a supply was given. When the energy is initiated and the current is passed through it, then we can say that is a cathode rays formation takes place from the cathode to anode. So one thing which can be asked in MCQ is cathode ray originated from. So now again J.J. Thomson modified this setup, and he made that into a completely evacuate. Hole was created in the anode and ZNS screen was placed behind the anode. This can be asked as a short answer question as modification of cathode anode setup. Okay. Now the result of this experiment was cathode rays moved from cathode to anode. Cathode rays are invisible. These rays travel in straight line. In presence of electric field, magnetic field, it deflected towards the positive plate. And the characteristics of cathode ray is independent of the material of the electrodes and the nature of gas. They show that the cathode rays move to negative charge particle into an electron. So what it said that cathode rays are basically negatively charged particles, and hence negative charge particle is known as electron. So here the outcome was cathode rays are electron. Okay. So now J.J. Thomson said that deflection depends on three factors. Those three factors were, first one was mass of electron, second was the charge of electron, and third was the strength of the field. Okay. So he said that whenever there is a deflection seen, deflection depends on three factors. First is the mass of an electron, second is the charge of an electron, and third is the strength of the field. Okay. Now he said that an electron has an electric force, magnetic force. Okay. So if there is a particular atom, it has, when a charge and current is passed through it, then we can say it possesses an electric force and a magnetic force. Okay. So this electric force and magnetic force has a certain value to it, right? For example, E here signifies the electric charge of an electron, and M is equals to mass of an electron. Now let's learn about the discovery of the proton and neutron. Okay, so how did the discovery of proton takes place? So this ERT is not evacuated and filled with gas. Hole was created in the cathode. So in similar experiment which took place in the past, similar thing was happened again. This time the hole is created in the cathode and ZNS screen is placed behind the cathode. Okay. So now how did discovery of the proton takes place? The observation was seen, the glow was seen, indicating that the charged particle, okay, glow means particle. The Q by M depends upon the gas. Okay. So here it said that the Q by M depends upon the gas. In presence of electric field, it deflects towards the negative plate, indicating positively charged. Now we can assume that if there is an atom A and here we have kept a negatively charged. Okay. So if we see that A is attracting towards negative this plate, then we can assume that A is positively charged. But if there is a particle A and it is reflecting back from the negative plate, then we can see A is a negatively charged because it is repelling. Okay. Here the mass of the particle depends on the nature of the gas. So here you can conclude that the smallest and the lightest positive ion is hydrogen is a proton. Okay, and it will have a plus charge. So now how does the discovery of the neutron takes place? There was a radioactive element which was bombarded by the alpha particles on the beryllium sheet. After the bombarding on the beryllium sheet, it was seen that the neutron is being released out, and it was a neutron particle which was given by the Chadwick. Let's solve some of the questions based on it. What is the decreasing order of the E by M ratio of the electron, proton and neutron? So electron by proton by neutron, the values that we should know is electron has the highest amount of E by M ratio, then comes the proton and then comes the neutron. Okay. So now today we learned about that atoms is indivisible, subatomic particles are electron, proton and neutron. Discovery of the electron is mass is equals to 9.109382 into 10 raised to minus 31 is the mass. Charge is minus 1.6. Here we have to note that it is negatively charged. Okay. Now discovery proton has the mass of 1.6. The charge is positive. Okay. And the discovery of the neutron is mass is having 1.67 and the charge is 0. So this is very important. This is the important entity to solve MCQs. Okay. Yes. So I hope this was some introductory things that you should learn, that you should go through or have a glance about this chapter. I hope you are good with what we have learned today. Thank you for watching this lecture. If you liked it, you can join us on the Knowledge Temple for complete learning, live classes and mentorship. Together, let's make learning engaging and rewarding. Thank you.